Hoo-ha! The what? Okay, for the first piece of footage, we got here a guy who looks like he's out in the middle of the ocean on a kayak.
A man under the user dots and lines has been kayaking much further ways into the ocean, trying to capture on camera the strange things that have been reported there, like voices and unknown marine life. As the man kayaks further away in the ocean, he begins to hear the haunting cries of an unknown creature somewhere in the fog.
About me not getting no good footage or clear footage. I'm out in the middle of the ocean, but I'm up.
I'm more interested in this guy. I'm right in the middle of the ocean. Y'all, this, the other. Amazing diction this fella's got on him.
And I know I'll be out here looking for these shits for y'all, but I am not with no mermaids, bro.
I can't hear any mermaids.
I'm out, bro.
Oh.
I think...
When I first heard this, I thought maybe it was like whale song. What doesn't make sense to me is that that doesn't sound like something that's coming from inside the water. And as you can see, there's no mermaids, and the sound sounds to me like it's coming from outside, you know, not like in the water. I think this is probably fake, but you guys tell me what you think anyway.
With no mermaids, bro. I'm out, bro. I think...
Today. Another thing that really pisses me off about my husband is...
Now, I know she looks like Jane from Tarzan, but try to pay attention to the clip. There's something happening here that we never quite saw in Tarzan.
Hang on. Are you seeing this? Fire, fine. You know, fine, whatever. That's not fine.
Is it just me, or are those totems? I don't know about you, but if I were moving through the woods and I came across a scene like this, I'd turn back. The lady, who's also called Rose, by the way, didn't have that luxury.
Oh my god.
While trying to make sense of the tree, she noticed her dogs were seriously looking in one direction. When dogs behave like this, it's a sign you're not alone. The original clip ended here, though, so we didn't know what happened until she uploaded this follow-up clip.
Oh my actual...
In this clip, they appear to have moved to a different, more open location. Again, the dogs are still seriously staring in one direction. I paid attention and after a few seconds realized there was something weird moving among the trees. It's too far to vividly point out, but a careful observation reveals it. It's certainly humanoid, but definitely not human. When many who saw the clip believed we were staring at some form of forest spirit or medium. They believe this might be connected to the creature we saw in the beginning. Well, you've seen it all as I've seen concerning this clip. So what do you think we're dealing with here?
That's not fine. Oh my god. Oh my actual...
Next, we got this clip that's got me thinking. As you can see, it starts off with a simple clip showing a fox eating. The uploader of the footage actually leaves food and water out for this guy because, well, he's a nice guy. Watching this clip, however, he noticed something unusual. The fox stopped mid-feeding to check something in the fence. It gets closer, stops in its tracks, observes, and then moves through the fence. I know that last part doesn't make sense, but the image you see currently is what the fence looks like during the day. Yeah, there's no hole or cutout in the fence to allow the fox to go through it. Even when you pay attention to the clip, once the fox goes through, you can tell the spot is solid. So what happened? Truth is, well, no one really knows. Some think he might have fallen through a portal or an interdimensional portal that was there in that moment. Others feel this could be the work of AI because to them, the fox's movements look unnatural at certain points. You take a good look and tell me what you think. Okay, this next bit of footage it's a little bit weird, I gotta say, but it's also something that I might have actually witnessed myself. The sky going from nighttime to bright daylight just like this, and this happened at 2:00 a.m. So let's take a look and see, shall we?
After 2 a.m., his blink camera goes off after the night sky lights up like it's daytime. The video
Yeah,
goes
see?
dark again, and then night continues.
That's like sunshine.
The question is, what could have caused this? What do you know of that can turn the night sky into daytime?
Right, well, when I was, I guess in my late 20s, and this was maybe about, 1:00 in the morning, something like that, and suddenly the sky just went boink! And completely lit up like it was midday or 10 o'clock in the morning on a nice sunny day. And I rushed to the window. I swear to God that I thought I saw a meteorite or something like that just flying across the sky. And it was the tail as it hit the atmosphere. That was what brightened the hell out of everything. Now, I can't imagine that it can be anything else apart from that. I'm not saying that this has to be one huge meteorite. But that's how I would explain it away anyway. But what do you think?
After 2 a.m., his blink camera goes off after the night sky lights up like it's daytime. The video goes dark again, and then night continues. The question is, what could have caused this? What do you know of that can turn the night sky into daytime in the middle of the night?
Okay, this next clip. A man apparently built an animatron in his garage named Citra.
Do you recall the gigantic animatronic robot
10
that was
foot
being
tall.
built in a guy's garage named Citra? And you recall in some of the videos the renditions of what Citra was to look like once completed.
So this is
There were
obviously not the
images
first
all over
video.
social media. And now it's actually been completed. And those that said we shouldn't worry, I think we should worry. Why? Because it's actually standing, moving, and listening to his commands.
So how long has this taken for this guy to have built this thing? Because it sounds to me like there's been quite a long time. There's obviously loads of clips of this guy actually building this thing from scratch. Now, these I would like to see. This is something that we need to maybe visit. But let's carry on.
Completely, fully complete.
Damn.
And you recall the statements that were made by the
Look at
creator
that
of
thing.
Citra, that it's bulletproof, it's fireproof. There's nothing that can take it down. So the question should be asked, why did he build it in the first place?
Is it not possible to just build something just because he can? I can't see how this can do much harm.
Decides to up and take off and just disappear on its own. How would he explain that to everyone? And you also got to ask yourself the question, why do we have a Terminator-looking robot?
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't look like a Terminator or anything dangerous. It looks like it was made out of Meccano or something like that. I mean, we haven't seen it move, we haven't seen it talk, we haven't seen it do anything that's Terminator-esque. You know, John Connor, I don't think we're gonna need you just yet, man. Take a good look at this clip. Notice anything weird? Just in case you didn't notice, there's a lad in front that appears to be running, right? Well, now pay attention. Well, is he moving at all? No, he's not. This isn't natural in the very least. That's what made this uploader start recording. According to her, she'd been watching the man in question for a while, wondering if what was happening was an illusion. One could capture it on camera, but she started to wonder if it was a glitch instead. This user, for instance, makes reference to the airplane phenomenon, which we've explained here several times. Do we have an explanation for this? Dear old Julius believes so. He thinks the person in question might be exercising or jogging. This is where they do the motions associated with jogging or running without actually moving. I went through the comments section and found others saying the same thing. Others feel it might just be an illusion because of the angle and perspective from which it was recorded. Well, you've seen the clip, so what do you think?
Oh, I found a glitched person. Just wait. They look like they're running, right? They're not. They're staying in place. They've been there for like 2 minutes. What?
Okay, this next video, we got a man taking a hike when he saw a man coming from the other direction. The man silently tells him to stop and get off the trail. When he turns around, the man is gone. Did he encounter the third man? What the hell is the third man? It's a presence that appears during extreme or life-threatening situations, including long hikes, mountain climbs, deserts, polar expeditions, and battlefields. Well, I've never heard of this before, so I'm going to be very interested to see what this is all about. Let's take a look.
Don't step off the trail.
This is an edit. This is just a guy who was walking in the other direction, and maybe this other guy just looked, not quite as worldly wise when it came to these trails, and he just said, dude, don't step off the trail because you could get lost. I've never heard of the third man, but this guy doesn't seem like some weird, haunting, strange woo-woo type of a situation. In fact, we had a guy at my village who used to look just like this, so there you go. Maybe it's him. Although sometimes he did used to wear a bucket on his head. Huh. Anyway, let us know in the comment section.
Don't step off the trail.
Do you leave your house key under your doormat when stepping out? Well, draw closer. This clip is for you. This was captured by a Ring door camera, and an individual had set up a camera for his apartment. In the clip, we see what looks like an older citizen, or really a young person taking in things they shouldn't be taking, moving from one door to the other. Now pay attention to his mouth. Do you see it? He's got a knife there, and he's seriously searching around for what can only be a key. I say this because he keeps looking underneath the doormats. Clearly, this is someone trying to break into someone's apartment with a knife in his mouth. Well, we can only assume the worst. Imagine if he actually found a key, broke into the apartment, and the owner entered while he was still there. There is no way this is going to end well, so please, put in some safety measures. I love these clips. I love poltergeists. I love anything to do with that, so I'm really interested to take a look at this one. We got an uploader here who's been having strange experiences at home, things moving by themselves, doors slamming, and every time he's checked, there's no one there but himself. So let's take a look and see what we got going on.
So it's been very horrible. I have been experiencing some non-stop shit. You gotta be kidding me. What the
Okay.
shit? What the is that sound?
Once again, this is something that I have experienced myself, and I'll tell you why in a minute.
Did not just move. I know that did not just move, y'all. Shit! Oh shit! In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask every demon to leave my house immediately. Immediately. I want every demon to leave this house immediately. Immediately. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Leave my house now.
That's creepy, man.
The f- was
That's
that?
creepy as hell.
I swear to God, and guys, this is crazy.
Is he gonna see anything? That's the thing I hate about these
Swear to
clips.
God.
Is you walk into a room and all of a sudden
What?
this face comes at you or something.
Shit! Holy shit! Oh, shit! Holy shit!
Look
Holy
at the what? What the hell?
I'm getting the f- out of here. Oh shit!
Yeah, no, this is it's creepy as hell, man. That's creepy. Now, this I absolutely, completely, and utterly believe. I've been in 3 haunted houses in my life. I've experienced some really strange stuff. I was in the bathroom in a really, really old house, very, very close to where I lived, that a friend of mine used to own. And there were hauntings and all sorts of weird stuff happening in this house all the time. But I went into the bathroom that was this really, really old bathroom just past this real ancient old library. And I was just there washing my hands, and a bar of soap from the bath that was just behind me came out and smacked me right in the back of the head. Nobody was there, scared the hell out of me, and as I went to the door to open it, I could not open the door. Then it swung open by itself really violently, and I was physically pushed out of this bathroom. I'm not saying this might not be a setup, but I am telling you that poltergeists absolutely do exist.
Swear to God. What the f- shit! Holy shit! Oh shit! Holy shit! Holy
Okay, this next clip that we got is about the norovirus. Now, I'm always very skeptical in this day and age when it comes to viruses and all this sort of stuff because of what happened with the COVID thing. So let's just take a look at this clip and see what we got going on.
Once again, are we about to repeat the year 2020 all over again?
Well, here we
and
go.
why do I say that? Because the norovirus is currently running rampant. And notifications like this are starting to appear all over schools due to children being sickened by the norovirus. And doctors have already come out and stated that this could be worse than what ravaged us in 2020. Because one of the main problems is there is no cure for this. There's no...
Yeah, you see, once again, is this just scare tactics? Are we going to be in a situation where all of a sudden everybody's going to be asked to wear masks and gloves and have sticks put up their noses to check what we got? See, that's the thing that really, really, really pissed me off when it came to this whole COVID thing. The fact that these guys made millions and millions and millions of pounds out of selling people this so-called PPI or PPL or whatever the hell you want to call it. So I guess we're going to have to see, aren't we, if we end up with another 2020 situation all over again. But anyway, enough of my rant. Let's carry on watching this.
And the problem with it is that it spreads so quickly. And this is very easily contracted, especially when you're in large groups or in areas where people and the germ exists. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with what the norovirus is, I will step away from the screen so you can pause and read.
Norovirus is a highly contagious virus that leads to diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach pain. Anyone can get sick with norovirus, and it spreads very quickly and easily. Well, there's lots of things that have these symptoms. You know, once again, I'm not saying that this isn't happening, but I'm just saying there's lots of other things that have those symptoms. I wouldn't be at all surprised if this is another thing. Suddenly we're going to be told we got to take boosters, and we got to take shots, and we got to take this, and we got to, go indoors, lock the doors. Norovirus, it might happen. It might. I don't know, but I get suspicious with this stuff now, as I'm sure everybody else does,
Once again, are we about to repeat the year 2020 all over again? And why do I say that? Because the norovirus is currently running rampant. And notifications like this are starting to appear all over schools due to children being sickened by the norovirus. And doctors have already come out and stated that this could be worse than what ravaged us in 2020. Because one of the main problems is there is no cure for this. There's no antibiotic for the norovirus.
This clip was captured in Daphne, Alabama, and it's got the community excited. There's what appears to be a floating contraption in the sky. It's almost metallic and alien looking. The uploader of the clip was first stunned when he saw it, and eventually recorded it just to make sure he wasn't seeing things. Throughout the recording, he's heard asking himself what exactly he's seeing. I don't know about you, but the sunset with the floating object and music from the original clip makes this feel like the scene from Man of Steel. As expected, this clip went viral in the community, with many asking questions and some sharing theories. While the debates and discussions were ongoing, another clip was dropped online by another user. It looked eerily similar to the one we just watched, but somehow captured by another person. This was also captured in Alabama, by the way, but at a different time. The first clip is from January 24, while the second clip is actually from 6 years ago. That's right, the 20th of August 2020. In the audio of the original clip, the lady recorded mentions this had smoke coming from it before it all happened. This has got the community wondering if it's the same creature, being, or machine that's been here since 2020. They've also been wondering why it's here and how long it's actually been here. These are good questions, but, well, am I the only one beginning to be skeptical because the scenes look similar, almost as though the same person recorded them in different instances to go viral? Well, maybe it's Julius's skepticism affecting me. Oh, God, I hope not. What do you guys say?
Well, what is it?
What is it?
See it?
Okay, I'm with you.
Oh no, it's like.
So it was doing that a minute ago. Then all the smoke disappeared behind it, and it was just sitting there in the sky, not moving. Now smoke's behind it again. We're like, what is hanging in the sky? I don't know.
It really looks like.
La Llorona. Now, apparently I keep saying that wrong, but that's how I pronounce it anyway. So this clip was uploaded by a lady called Sammy. Sammy? No, this is Sammy, who was watching her kids play around outside. The kids tell her there's someone in the room with her via called Nona.
¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué pasa, kids?
¿Quién está en el cuarto?
Okay, it's...
While the boys went in and out of the room, we can hear the woman's voice saying,
I think this is real. And the reason I think it's real is because when animals and kids react, 9 times out of 10, they're very innocent souls. And they can see a lot more than we can. I can be pretty skeptical about a lot of stuff, but as far as I'm concerned, this sort of stuff, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We all understand that, well, most of us do anyway, that spirits are real, hauntings are real, this stuff happens, it's latent energy, whatever the hell you want to call it. I think this is real.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Quién está en el cuarto?
Now we got a goat walking on 2 legs. This is some real lion, witch, and wardrobe shit if it is. Well, I know that goats can climb up the steepest mountainsides and God knows what else. Goats just seem to be these miraculous creatures, so quite frankly, at this point in time, nothing can shock me about goats. I love this. I love it. I love it. That's just a goat. I love the fact they put spooky music behind it and stuff like that to make it look like there's something otherworldly going on. Like Mr. Tumnus has suddenly come out of Narnia or something. It's just a goat. It's just a goat doing what goats do. It's as simple as that. This story comes from England in the 1950s, and it starts with a tragedy. Twins named Joanna and Jacqueline Pollock died in a car accident. According to reports, the woman who crashed into their vehicle did it out of spite because she'd lost her own children. The parents were devastated, but life went on. Not long after, they had twins again, 2 girls named Jenny and Jennifer. At first, everything seemed normal. Well, twins can look alike, twins can act alike. But then small details started adding up, and that's when things got strange. As the girls grew older, the similarities became impossible to ignore. They began talking about toys, places, and experiences that their parents never mentioned, things that only Joanna and Jacqueline could have known. One of the new twins even had a birthmark in the exact same spot as one of their deceased girls. The family had moved away from Hexham, yet Jenny and Jennifer described street landmarks and locations they'd never visited. They shared the same illnesses, the same preferences, had both had an intense fear of cars, even though they'd never been in an accident themselves. What makes this even stranger is that all of this slowly faded by around the age of 5. The memory stopped, the similarities softened. Some people say this was a reincarnation, others suggested coincidence, childhood suggestion, or grief-shaping memory. But here's the question for you. Not all twins behave like this, so what exactly was happening here? And if you're a twin, have you ever experienced anything even remotely similar? Okay, so the next what we got is sci-fi extraction. Okay.
So we've been hearing the U.S. military really busted out the Blaster 9000 during their raid on Venezuela. Straight up alien technology revealed in a chilling audio by a witness. Powerful super weapons used to
I would love it if it really was called the Blaster.
Blasting Chief Keef and catching the Prez wearing Nike tech fleece. That witness who told the world what he saw was a Venezuelan guard, and actually a very close contact with Maduro himself. The leaked audio of Maduro's security revealed the disturbing first-hand account of America's raid on Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro. So the night it happened, the Venezuelan army didn't hear a peep when all of a sudden all their radar systems mysteriously went down, and hundreds of drones came out of nowhere, after which 8 helicopters appeared, and from them only 20 soldiers came down who were, quote, technologically very advanced and didn't look like anything we've ever fought against before. The American troops were outnumbered 5-1, yet the firefight was an absolute massacre. The Venezuelan military didn't stand a chance as these 20 Delta Force soldiers came up on them like they had aimbot installed, firing with such insane precision and speed like they were shooting at least 300 rounds a minute. Then at one point they launched what the witness calls a very intense sound wave, feeling like his head was exploding from the inside. All of their Venezuelan noses started bleeding.
Already.
They
we
were
know that
vomiting
sound
and falling to the
technology is
ground
being
and were
used
too
as
dizzy
weapons.
to even get back up, incurring hundreds of casualties while the 20 American soldiers remained completely untouched, using weapons that didn't seem human. Like this helmet made by Palmer Luckey. This special military helmet is called Eagle Eye, giving the user a full-blown, state-of-the-art heads-up display like they're playing Call of Duty but in real life, showing them a live map, exactly where their friends are, their enemies, where their gun is pointed, built-in night and thermal vision.
We know these guys are elite as hell, using technological weapons to beat their enemy. VR and everything else is being used, but it was bound to be at some point. There's nothing strange about it. It's just the Americans doing what they do best. Hoo-ha!
Years Years back, they showed us legit wall hacking technology called ENVGB, Enhanced Night Vision Goggle Binoculars, which uses special phosphorus technology to outline people and even equipment behind walls and through objects.
If I had a subscriber for every time someone heard sounds underground and felt there was construction going on there, well, I'd have 1 billion subscribers by now. Seriously, also if you have subscribed and liked the video yet, well, if you haven't and answered no to any of these, please do so for me, okay? It helps out a ton. But anyway, back to the clip, listen to this.
Alright guys, I've got about a 6-foot hole dug here, and we've hit rock, but listen to this.
Do you guys hear it? There's definitely something there, assuming this clip has not been doctored, but what? Well, no one can tell. This clip comes all the way from Kentucky, and it was recorded by a farmer who'd been hearing sounds from different parts of his farm for months. He feels there's something being built there, but his only proof is these videos. Some have accused him of doctoring the clip to go viral. In the one we started with, he dug about 6 feet and hit rock. He started hearing the sound coming from within that rock. Some were quick to mention that it was most likely concrete. Some believe there's a facility being built underground and have recommended to use dynamite to blast through. Now, I'm not sure about the legalities around that one, but if it's truly a facility belonging to the Men in Black, then he'd most likely be getting a visit soon. Well, what do you make of this video?
It's loud. I mean, it's really loud.
This next video is about sleep paralysis. Now, anybody actually watched the last episode of Classified Captures? We did a whole segment on sleep paralysis and seeing weird entities whilst you're in that state. And whilst I didn't really believe what was going on in that video, because how can someone reach for their camera or take pictures if they're actually paralyzed? It's an interesting phenomenon. I think every single one of us has experienced it at some point. Me, quite recently in actual fact. So I'm going to be interested to see what this is about.
Paralysis is a real condition that affects about 1 in 5 people at least once in their life. It happens when your mind wakes up, but your body is still shut down by REM sleep.
Surely.
During an episode, people are fully conscious but unable to move, scream, or breathe properly. Over 60% of sufferers report vivid hallucinations, shadow figures, footsteps, whispering, and the feeling that someone is watching. Many see the same figure, a tall, dark presence standing near the bed. Episodes often happen between 3 and 4 a.m. and can feel like they last minutes. Even though they're usually under 30 seconds, your brain knows you're awake. Your body thinks you're dreaming.
Okay, so yeah, this is an actual real phenomenon. I think surely more than 1 in 5 people have experienced this. Let me know in the comments if you have, because I absolutely have experienced this more than once. And did you know that the hours between 3 and 4 are supposed to be like these little miracle hours? The most people pass away between those hours, or they get spiritually awakened during those hours. Something about 3 or 4 o'clock is an important thing. I'm constantly waking up at 3 o'clock. I hope I'm here next week.
Over 60% of sufferers report vivid hallucinations, shadow figures, footsteps, whispering, and the feeling that someone is watching. Many see the same figure, a tall, dark presence standing near the bed. Episodes often happen between 3 and 4 a.m. and can feel like they last minutes.
Okay, when I first saw this, the title said Immortal Kirk, and I thought this had something to do with Star Trek or something to do with William Shatner. But it's not. It's about Erica Kirk, and apparently there could be 2 of them.
This is Erica Kirk, and this is Erica Kirk. This Erica Kirk was born in the 30s and this one in the 80s. And people on the internet are saying not only do they share the same name and looks, that they are actually the same person.
They don't share the same
Both married
looks.
to men in politics. This Erica Kirk's husband was the governor of Florida. Now, I know you guys have heard about how celebrities live forever, and their souls are essentially recycled. Well, that's what people are saying is happening.
No. Just a coincidence, right? It's totally possible that two people shared the same name, living 70 years or whatever apart, and married influential individuals. Why the hell not?
And she's not the only one. People have noticed it with several other celebrities. And then there's the theory that celebrities are vampires. That this isn't a recycling of the soul, these are just the same person. A lot of people believe that this theory is 100% true, and that these people have just lived forever. And that's how they've become an elite part of our society.
Yeah, well, once again, we can see from Matthew McConaughey. He's been acting since he was young as hell. So this isn't him just reaching a certain age in the 1920s or something, staying that same age all the way through. We've seen him as a young man in movies.
Them have been in the elite part of the society for a long time. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
That doesn't even look like the same guy.
Are these recycled souls? Are they vampires? Or do humans just kind of look the same?
Well, souls are recycled. I believe in reincarnation. You know, if you have new lessons to learn or you haven't learned what you were supposed to learn, you can come back and do it all again. This is like a training ground, you know? Training ground for the soul. But yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think.
This is Erica Kirk, and this is Erica Kirk. This Erica Kirk was born in the 30s and this one in the 80s. And people on the internet are saying not only do they share the same name and looks, that they are actually the same person. Both married to men in politics. This Erica Kirk's husband was the governor of Florida. Now, I know you guys have heard about how celebrities live forever, and their souls are essentially recycled. Well, that's what people are saying is happening here.
Imagine walking around your apartment, not dressed for the outdoors, when you suddenly hear your camera giving you audio feedback from a different place. Well, that's exactly what's happening in this clip.
My camera is hacked. Who's there? Why can I hear myself?
When she speaks into the camera, she hears herself in a bit of a delay, almost as though the person on the other side has connected speakers and was listening to her at every action. She's stunned, scared, and confused. She wonders if this is a glitch, but if you were able to ask me, I would say she'd probably been hacked. The hacker must be watching her all the time and may have forgotten to turn off his microphone. Either that or the animal we hear, which is a cat, may have pressed or toggled something that made the audio from his side travel to her side. Now, this looks like an indoor camera. I wouldn't be surprised if she's moved around while indecent because, well, it's her apartment after all. What if the person behind the camera is taking these clips and selling them? I know it's a scary thought, but people can be really bad these days. What do you guys think of this? What would you have done in her situation?
Y'all, why does it sound like my camera is hacked? Who's there? Why can I hear myself?
Okay, now this video, the title made me laugh. Alien found in ruins. I was picturing some alien that had walked into a bar and said, "Give me a beer, give me another beer, take me to your leader," and got drunk out of his skull, and some guys just found him on the street, and like running around everywhere going, "You are my best friend, I love you, I love you." But apparently that's not what it's about at all. So let's take a look and see what we got. Why is this footage always grainy? It's grainy because they don't want to show who they dressed up and made do all these movements and stuff like that. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's suspicious. I don't care what phone you have these days. Everybody can film better than this. Let's take a closer look at this intriguing piece of footage that allegedly shows a Bigfoot moving through a snowy landscape. Although the video is quite shaky, you can clearly see the creature moving through the snow that reaches up to its knees. Notice how effortlessly it walks. This is impossible for a human dressed in a costume. This footage, known as the Snow Walker footage, was originally recorded in 1992, but surfaced to the public in 1996 as part of a comprehensive Bigfoot documentary. While many skeptics claim that this footage is staged or manipulated, some believe it is genuine. What are your thoughts? This chilling story comes from a ranch in Utah where locals reported hearing unsettling screams resembling a woman's voice echoing through the area. Determined to investigate, a man went out with his camera in 2004 only to capture something truly unnerving. In the grainy footage, he spotted a creature moving on all fours in the field. At first glance, it seemed like an animal, and then it did something that sent shivers down his spine. The creature rose on its two legs and stretched its neck to look directly at him, its movement eerily human-like. This terrified the man so much that he fled the scene. Many who have seen the footage speculate that this might be a skinwalker. These beings mimic human forms and voices to lure unsuspecting victims. While some dismiss the video as a hoax or misidentified animal behavior, others believe it's a skinwalker. Someone in the comments section of the original post did share a unique view, however. He mentions that many animals are capable of briefly standing on their hind legs, and this is what might have been going on with this creature. But what do you think?
Bad people found out that we did. I don't know how, but they did, and things kind of went downhill from there.
Weird looking, right? It's not every day you see something like this, and the one who uploaded it insists that it's real. It looks like something gooey substance levitating or standing upright. Julius straight out called it fake, and for the first time I was tempted to side with him until I read the comments. Take a look at this comment. The individual insists she experienced something like this. Another claims she saw it in Miami. Another person also mentioned that he caught strange things on camera that can't be seen with the naked eye. These comments can make you feel this is certainly real. Skeptics, however, exist and find it laughable. They've attributed the whole thing to CGI and called it fake. What do you think? Who do you side with?
Bad people found out that we did. I don't know how, but they did, and things kind of...
I was sleeping, dead asleep last night. All of a sudden, I heard something rummaging through my cab. I rolled over and peeked through the window, and I swear there was like this huge thing standing there going through my stuff. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no way it's a person.
Speaking of strange big guys moving around in the dark, this woman was camping out when she was woken up by noises of something or something going through her stuff. She woke up, tried to investigate, and was met with this strange, ginormous creature that escaped into the night. The logical thing to have done would have been to leave the place, but no, she wanted to get to the bottom of it. So she camped out again, this time with cameras to capture who or what was responsible for the interference of her sleep the previous night. Looks like she takes her sleep seriously. And sure enough, her cameras captured something. It was a hairy bipedal creature making its way through the woods in a manner that suggested it didn't want to be seen. But for the cameras, it would have achieved its goal. Now that she had evidence of what disturbed her sleep, she needed to put a name to it, and she uploaded it seeking opinions. Looking at this, it looks like our big guy. Is it really him, though? Hard to say. This one appears shorter than we are used to when the distance makes it hard to properly define its features. Julius thinks it's a man in a costume, but he always thinks things like that. Aaron suggests it could be a young or juvenile Bigfoot. What about you? What do you think?
And I swear there was like this huge thing standing there going through my stuff. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no way it's a person. It dropped everything and scampered off into the woods behind me.
Humans often discuss the pressing crisis of climate change and environmental degradation, yet we overlook how our actions are continually exacerbating these issues. This scene, for example, shows a once pristine mountain area now buried under heaps of trash and even human waste. Despite the efforts of individuals in protective suits working to clean up the mess, the task is daunting, especially in such a remote and challenging environment. Shockingly, this location is none other than Mount Everest. Once revered as the crown jewel of nature, it's now become a glaring symbol of human neglect. Visitors and climbers leave behind litter as if the natural beauty of this iconic peak holds no value, transforming it into what looks like a refuse dump instead of a majestic wonder. So, while humans fight for survival against crisis, we're often the creators of the very dangers we face. How can we protect the Earth if we keep treating it like this? Just in case you were wondering what this is, it's Waldo, the advanced surveillance system concept often associated with military or intelligence operations. It typically refers to a highly sophisticated system that integrates artificial intelligence, facial recognition, and real-time data processing to monitor and track individuals or objects across large areas. The name Waldo is sometimes metaphorically derived from the game Where's Waldo, emphasizing its ability to locate specific individuals in crowded or complex environments. The Waldo surveillance system, like similar advanced technologies, integrates AI, real-time data processing, facial recognition, and predictive analytics to monitor and track individuals, often for public safety or military purposes. While it offers benefits like crime prevention, search and rescue, and national security, it raises significant ethical concerns. These include privacy erosion, potential misuse by authoritarian regimes, racial and gender biases in AI, and the chilling effect on freedoms of expression and assembly. To put it in perspective, Waldo can extract vast amounts of information by linking facial recognition to databases, tracking cell phones via GPS, Wi-Fi, or cell towers, and even intercepting communications or metadata like call logs and texting habits. They can analyze behavior patterns, predict future movements, and map social networks to cross-referencing interactions. Scary, right? To balance its utility and ethics, strong regulations, transparency, bias mitigation, and strict data protection are essential, ensuring it serves society without infringing on fundamental rights. Disturbing allegations have surfaced over the years about horrifying practices said to involve these elites. In an interview with Joe Rogan, Mike Tyson revealed some of these chilling claims. According to him, homeless people are being abducted off the streets, taken to mansions, and hunted for sport. Yes, you heard that right, hunted like animals. But Tyson's claims are not isolated. On an episode of Dr. Phil, a woman who identifies herself as a survivor of human trafficking recounted her own harrowing experiences. She claimed she had also been hunted for sport by some of the most high-profile individuals. Most of them were celebrities, athletes, and even influential public figures. According to her, these horrific acts are carried out in secret, with victims chosen from the most vulnerable corners of society. And then there's the recent legal battle involving Diddy. While the case itself doesn't directly involve human hunting, it has sparked renewed scrutiny of the activities of the global elite. Allegations of abuse, exploitation, and even more sinister acts are surfacing. These accusations, as shocking as they are, beg the question: how deep does this go? Are these just conspiracy theories, or is there a horrifying truth?
They would buy us just to hunt us. Some laid traps for us, and others would track us down like animals.
Yo, I've never seen nothing like that.
In this next footage, I'm not exactly sure where it was taken, but the scene is intriguing and unsettling. It's nighttime, and a woman is standing by the roadside. The surroundings are dimly lit with only the occasional glow of passing headlights, but something extraordinary happens that draws everyone's attention. The horizon is illuminated by a bright, vivid blue light. There are other people standing nearby. They're all transfixed, staring at the light with an almost hypnotic focus. No one seems to know what's happening. This doesn't look natural. It feels more like a freak event. Am I overthinking things, or are we really dealing with something else entirely? Something beyond our understanding?
Yo, I've never seen nothing like that.
A man decided to visit his old school, which was now closed and abandoned. He went there evening time, exploring the desolate halls up to the attic. As he carefully navigated the eerie stillness, something unexpected happened. Just as he rounded a corner and entered a room, a figure moved, quickly walking away. Take another look. Right there. Did you see it? Let's slow down the footage to get a better look. Now, pay close attention. Right here, it appears as though whatever it was got up from the ground and walked off. We don't know much about the school's history before it shut down, but abandoned places like this often have a reputation for housing strange entities after being left untouched for years. So what could this figure be? This intriguing photo, taken in 2005 by a backpacker in the Silver Star Mountains, shows a bipedal figure at a distance. The man, initially believing he saw a neighbor, snapped a picture to capture the moment. Upon closer inspection, the figure appears to have broad shoulders and a build that suggests it could be covered in dark fur. Due to the distance, the details are unclear, but it undeniably resembles the classic silhouette associated with Bigfoot sightings. Interestingly, the backpacker himself refrained from making any grand claims about encountering Bigfoot, simply stating that it was something unusual. However, those familiar with Bigfoot lore are positive that this is the creature.
Yeah, it's right up there. You see it? Yeah, it's above the rock. Yeah. Oh my God!
The man behind this footage claims to have captured a UFO encounter in the sky, and honestly, you'll want to see this for yourself. In the video, there are two strange crafts hovering in the distance. They're small, indicating that they're likely very far away. For a while, the craft remains stationary, but then something unexpected happens. Toward the end of the footage, the two crafts suddenly flash brightly and appear to explode in the sky. The explosion isn't massive, likely because of the distance, and interestingly, there's no sound accompanying it. This has left people debating, could this really be a UFO incident, or is it something else entirely? Perhaps advanced drones, a military experiment, or even a staged hoax? What do you think?
Yeah, it's right up there. You see it? Yeah, it's above the rock. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Cerró los ojos.
Ya ves, estaba parpadeando. Mire, mire, mire.
A couple went grocery shopping and got the shock of their lives when they picked a sealed packet of spinach. Inside, they found a huge frog alive and nestled amongst the leaves. It's hard to imagine how something like this could happen, but did the frog even get into the packaging without anyone noticing? Surely someone along the production line or at the store should have caught this. This incident is a strong reminder. Always thoroughly check your food before buying it.
Cerró los ojos.
Ya ves, estaba parpadeando. Mire, mire, mire.
What are you doing?
Some locals in Malaysia were enjoying a day at the beach when they noticed something unusual in the ocean near the horizon. It was something moving at an incredibly fast pace across the water. The movement was so swift and unusual that it was difficult to identify the shape or nature of the object. While fish can be fast swimmers, this speed seemed to defy what you'd expect from typical marine life, leaving witnesses baffled. Some members of the community even mentioned this, so it could be a marine creature or something entirely unexplained.
What are you doing?
This video was captured by a man out in Kentucky on what seemed like a regular bright day. Suddenly, he began hearing strange noises, but they weren't coming from the sky or any nearby machinery. Instead, the sounds were emanating from beneath the ground. Take a look and listen closely.
There's something under the ground. It sounds like it's about to bust out.
As he moves the camera toward the ground, you can hear the unsettling noise. There were no signs of construction work or activity in the area that could explain it. This has sparked plenty of speculation, with some suggesting it might be evidence of secret underground tunneling happening beneath the surface. But for what purpose? What could be going on beneath Kentucky?
It's over here in the field.
And we caught another one. Oh. Might have to start calling it the Folkestone pasty crab. Oh, what's he got there? Only a baby. Still home. See ya. Chucking back. Only just caught him.
It looks like a potato, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It turns out this interesting creation is the baby spongy crab, also known as the spongy crab or sponge crab. This was a juvenile stage of the Dromaeosaurus species, which is commonly found in the Atlantic Ocean. These crabs are notable for their unique behavior of using sea sponges as camouflage and protection. As they grow, they attach sponges, anemones, or other materials to their shells, which helps them blend into their surroundings and evade predators. Baby spongy crabs are particularly small and rely heavily on the protection strategy to survive. Their remarkable ability to adapt and use their environment for defense highlights the fascinating ecological interactions with marine ecosystems. Oh, nature, you've done it again. You've left us speechless. Has any of you seen this in real life?
Only a baby. Still home. See ya.
Strange, wouldn't you agree? It looks like we're looking at two very different landscapes, yet they're just close to each other, separated by some invisible barrier. During my last visit to Africa to investigate a paranormal lead, I had an experience I would never forget. I saw it rain a few meters from me while I stood there absolutely dry. I did some investigating and realized this was a normal thing in some parts of Africa. Further research revealed it's called localized rain. That's easy to understand, well, at least to me. What we're seeing now appears to be a bit more complex than that. Can anyone explain, or do you think it's paranormal and I need to bring in Aaron to hear his side of the story? A man was jolted awake in the middle of the night by his dog howling loudly, which was unlike his dog. So he checked his security footage to see what might have triggered the commotion. What he saw was unsettling. In the darkness, a robed figure appeared, gliding eerily across his yard toward the corner of the house. The figure seemed to have a ghostly aura, and the robe it wore flowed as though caught in a strong breeze despite the stillness of the night. It's well known the animals, especially dogs, have heightened senses and are believed to perceive things humans cannot. This howling, which the man heard clearly in the footage, is often associated with the presence of spirits or otherworldly entities. The question is, what was this spectral figure? A family traveling through Quebec, Canada, had an unexpected and eerie encounter on the roadside. They spotted a large moose grazing peacefully near the trees, but as they watched, their attention shifted to something more unsettling among the foliage. In the shadows behind the moose, they noticed a pale humanoid figure crouching low to the ground. It seemed fixated on the moose, its movements slow and deliberate, almost as if it was stalking. However, this creature didn't resemble a typical predator. Its gaunt, otherworldly appearance resembled the infamous rake. The footage left the family disturbed as the pale figure moved closer to the moose. Unlike a lot of rake footage, something tells me this is not a hoax. Am I becoming sentimental, or are we onto something? A group of friends shared this footage online after exploring an abandoned house. They encountered what appeared to be an 8-foot-tall alien, commonly referred to as a Grey. This creature had pale skin and large black eyes, a typical description associated with this type of alien. In the footage, the creature follows them out onto the street, and then the video abruptly ends. Despite the compelling footage, I find this footage unconvincing. The alien's appearance and movements seemed too perfect, almost as if they were computer-generated. With the advancements in video editing software, it's increasingly difficult to distinguish between real and fabricated footage. While it's true that strange things happen in the world, this particular video lacks the authenticity and subtle imperfections typically found in genuine sightings. The smoothness of the creature's movements and the seamless way it interacts with its environment raises suspicions of digital manipulation. What do you think?
So if anyone's ever wanted to know what is down one of these, let's take a look. Get a little bit closer? Holy crap, man. It's honestly quite terrifying. Why is there a ladder?
Speaking of strange and unexplained sights, have you ever come across something like this? It looks like a chimney or something similar to that, but here's the thing. It's ground level. I'm not sure I can even call it that. It looks like some underground tunnel or something similar to that. The big question now is, where does it lead to and how long has it been there? In search of answers, I went through every comment on the original post. And guess what? I found nothing. Can any of you help out? Perhaps you've seen this or know they exist. Please don't be shy. Do educate us in the comments section.
It's honestly quite terrifying. There's a why is there a ladder?
Moving on, there have been increasing reports of strange drone activity across the US, and while experts claim these devices are meant to make life easier, sometimes we see things that raises more questions than answers. Take this footage for example. You see the drone in the sky, don't you? If you look a bit closer, you'll see what really caught people's attention. It wasn't the fact that there was a drone in the night sky. No, it's the fact that it appeared to be spraying something down to Earth. What exactly was it spraying? Well, it's hard to say, but over the years there have been whispers and conspiracy theories about governments interfering with independent farming by allegedly damaging crops to force reliance on controlled food supplies. Could this footage be evidence of such an operation? Of course, skeptics argued that this could simply be a pesticide drone or even a routine weather modification attempt. Sounds logical, but doesn't make it the truth. There are also some who state that it could be alien overlords poisoning the human hybrids that created centuries ago. This also sounds a bit over the top, but that doesn't make it unrealistic. The truth is, we don't really know what's happening. We can only speculate and hope that we are right, if you know what I mean. Someone was out boating when they noticed something unusual in the water. A large caudal fin, likely from a fish or some other creature, suddenly emerged, wiggling in the air before disappearing beneath the surface. They managed to capture the moment on video, but the whole thing is a mystery. What kind of creature did that fin belong to? Because you can barely see any discernible features that may give you a clue. There are some already speculating that it could be a mermaid, but if you take a closer look at the footage, something seems off. The movement feels unnatural, and the way the fin behaves doesn't quite match any known sea creatures. Could this be AI generated? Some tech enthusiasts in the community seem to think so, but I want your opinion on this. What say you?
Tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. Mira, 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 mira.
La tentación, líbranos y guárdanos de todo mal. Amén. Mira.
Mira, no mames. ¿Qué pedo?
A couple got home one night from a late-night hike to find this on their car. A strange-looking woman sitting right on the hood of their vehicle. She was holding a white cloth, cradling it in her hands like it was a baby. The woman herself did not look normal. Her face was grotesque, with dark, uneven skin that seemed almost decayed. Her hair was a tangled mess, falling limp over her head. Her attire was a tattered black robe. It looked like it had seen centuries of wear. The scared couple began to pray, hoping it would ward off whatever they were witnessing, but their prayers didn't seem to have much effect. The woman shifted her position slightly, still perched on the hood, her dark, soulless eyes scanning the area. What could this be? A ghostly apparition, a witch, or something entirely beyond explanation?
Tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día. Perdona nuestras ofensas como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. Mira, 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 mira.
La tentación, líbranos y guárdanos de todo mal. Amén. Mira.
Mira, no mames. ¿Qué pedo?
A man went hiking with his son up a mountain, enjoying the serene beauty of nature, but on their way down, something truly nerve-wracking happened. The man holding a camera was filming his son as he carefully descended the rocky path. That's when the unexpected visitor appeared, a large bear quietly trailing behind the boy. The bear didn't appear aggressive, it was more curious than anything else. It moved cautiously, keeping its eyes on the boy, who showed incredible bravery and composure. Instead of panicking or running, the boy calmly and steadily continued his descent. Bears are massive, powerful, and undeniably dangerous. Most people would have bolted in fear, but they can trigger a predatory chase instinct. This boy's composure likely saved him from a much worse situation. So what about you? Would you have been able to stay as calm as this boy in such a moment? A man had visited Colonial Williamsburg, one of the most historic and reportedly haunted places in America. As he walked through the old buildings, he decided to film his experience, but something about the place felt off. The walls, the air, and even the creaking floors gave off this strange energy. You know when a place just feels heavy? Well, that's exactly what he described. As he made his way down one of the narrow hallways, his camera caught something strange. In the footage, you can clearly see a shadowy figure move across the doorway in the room just ahead of him. But he was completely alone in that building. Startled, he rushed into the room thinking someone might be there, maybe a staff member or another tourist, but the room was empty, not a soul in sight. And yet the footage doesn't lie. You can see the shadow move. So what was it? Or could it have been a spirit lingering from the colonial past?
Look at these. Tell me it's not absolutely horrifying. What the hell? Did you see that shadow? Look at these.
Listen to this audio and tell me what it sounds like. People screaming in anguish, right? Would you believe me if I told you this isn't from a movie? Yeah, it's not. It was allegedly recorded in the deepest borehole in the world. If you didn't know such a thing existed, I didn't know this existed either until I started looking into today's topic. The Kola Super Deep Borehole, drilled by Soviet scientists on Russia's Kola Peninsula, is the deepest man-made hole on Earth, reaching 12,262 meters in 1989. The project began in 1970 to explore the Earth's crust and led to surprising discoveries like water deep underground and unusual rock layers. However, extreme heat and constant technical issues made it nearly impossible to continue. After the Soviet Union collapsed, the project was abandoned in 1992. Today, the site is sealed off, but it still fascinates scientists and curious minds around the world. Not sure which individuals or scientists were able to record this, but if it's true, well, it's eerie. Some who heard the audio think they were sounds from hell, that is, people in torment. I get why they would think that, but is that really the case, especially if this clip is legit? Let's hear your thoughts. Imagine coming home to see this in your home. That's the exact situation of the family you see in the clip. I don't know what this is, but it appears to have left the family in a real dilemma. What would you have done in their shoes? We don't see the end of the situation, but can any of you tell us what animal this is? A woman was looking out of her window one day when something unusual caught her eye. Glancing down at the apartment below hers, she noticed a bag sitting by the window. At first, it didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary, but curiosity got the better of her. She decided to zoom in with a camera, and what she captured was truly unsettling. Inside the bag, poking out just enough to be visible, was a doll. Its eyes were staring directly at her. Its gaze felt deliberate, as though it were unaware of her being watched. The sight was unnerving, to say the least. A doll in a bag by a window might seem harmless at first glance, but something about its positioning gives it a deeply creepy vibe. What do you think? Imagine going to the cold store to get some meat for dinner and seeing this. What would be your immediate response? I know mine would be to leave and get some pizza, but that wouldn't solve the issue now, would it? How do I know the meat in my pizza wasn't doing the same when it was cooked or baked? Well, it turns out all meats sort of do this. There's no conspiracy here. Instead, we've only got some fresh meat with some active nerve endings. So basically, if they move in and buy meat and see it doing this, chances are you're getting fresh meat and your meat isn't processed or possessed. All over the world, there are places with a history of alien encounters. This footage was taken by some researchers who traveled to Peru, a country long associated with mysterious events and ancient alien theories. According to local accounts, there was once an alleged alien crash landing in Peru. While investigating, the researchers came across a group of men who had discovered strange remains of what they believed could be alien relics. One of the most intriguing discoveries was a preserved figure of a woman in red, textured hair, and a younger child. Some believe these could be remnants of an ancient alien species that once lived in the area. Looking at it, I understand why they'd have that sentiment, but that doesn't always translate as truth, right? Anyway, you've seen the clip, so what say you? Do you trust self-driving cars? If your answer was no, then it might interest you to know that there are some using the feature on their Teslas.
There's no way it doesn't see the 4 flashing lights. Yes, it was foggy, but you could still see the lights. And I was like, it's going to stop. It's going to stop.
This clip was recorded by a Tesla owner who had left his car in full self-driving mode, and it shows the moment a Tesla vehicle failed to stop for a moving train ahead of them. The whole thing is crazy because if the man hadn't manually applied the brakes, the vehicle would have run into the train. Yes, it was foggy, but he believes the car should still have picked the train up, yet it didn't. Fortunately, he survived, but it's got us wondering, can we really trust our self-driving cars at this point in time?
There's no way it doesn't see the 4 flashing lights. Yes, it was foggy, but you could still see the lights. And I was like, it's going to stop. It's going to stop.
Stepping away from strange and bizarre-looking animals, let's take a look at strange or gifted humans, as some like to call them.
Wait, is your foot turned around or is your shoe backwards? That's not real.
Have you seen anyone's limbs move like that? Freaky, right? And don't pause the video to try it. I have a cousin who I've seen do this and more, and believe me when I tell you it's not all discipline and training. Most often, people who do this are double-jointed. These unfamiliar double-jointed individuals, or those with joint hypermobility, can move their joints into positions that are unusual or extreme compared to the average range of motion. This flexibility is often due to genetic factors affecting the ligaments, tendons, and connective tissues, making them more elastic. While many people with joint hypermobility can perform impressive feats and may experience no adverse effects, some may suffer from joint pain, instability, or conditions like Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which involves more significant issues with connective tissue. Although generally benign, hypermobility can sometimes lead to an increased risk of injuries and dislocations. So even though they have a special condition that allows them to do all that, they are still prone to injuries. How much more you with ordinary joints don't ever try this.
That's not real.
This woman was spotted sitting on a bench at what looks like a peaceful park. She's just calmly watching a game. But then people started noticing something strange. There was visible steam rising from her head. Now keep in mind the weather appeared to be cold, everyone else was bundled up, and you could see people's breath in the air. But this woman, she wasn't wearing a hat, and a bald head was literally emitting steam. Some are guessing it's a case of a hot flash, especially since she appears to be an older woman. Menopausal heat surges are very real, and they can come on strong and fast. That's the most logical explanation. But others are saying that even for a hot flash, that amount of steam seems excessive. It almost looked like her head was a kettle just taken off from a stove, but she seemed unbothered. She was laughing, relaxed, and even smiled as someone nearby commented on what was happening. So what do you think could be causing it?
When the flash starts flashing and the flash flashes. The flash, 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 flashes.
How cursed does a place have to be for this to happen? This video shows rain falling on just one house. The rest of the neighborhood is bone dry, not a single drop. It's like the sky had something personal against this house. Not sure. Some people say this is scientifically possible. Rain clouds can form in narrow paths and drop rain in small isolated areas, but even with that explanation, this just feels off. Some viewers believe there might be more to it. Maybe the house itself is cursed, or on the flip side, maybe the entire neighborhood is cursed to stay dry and this house is the only one being blessed with rain. What do you think is going on here? The individual who captured this clip claimed he was hearing strange and weird animal-like sounds coming from the woods near him. Being the brave man he is, he ventured into the woods to check it out. He'd always felt there was something unusual about the woods near him, so he filmed his little adventure, and what he captured is what you see on your screens currently. If you pay attention to the clip, you should see some beady eyes staring back at him. That doesn't look normal. It doesn't look like any animal we know, and neither does it look human. This leaves only one explanation: a cryptid. But which? I guess I will let you guys decide on that.
Go running. Let's go for a run. Do you know how to do... Oh, you are Hawaiian. Can you go like this, like blow a kiss? Yeah. Hand to the face. Like, yeah!
Ever since Elon Musk showcased his Tesla robots, there has been a lot of buzz around them. Some think they will be the end of humanity, whereas others think they will change the world. This recent video, however, has had people thinking that the robots are becoming human, like this guy is actually showing emotions. While I think that will be interesting to me, I don't think that we are there yet. What do you say?
Rock, paper, scissors? Oh, raise the roof. Yep. Hey. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're a little slow, but I beat you. Okay.
If I paid you $1 billion to transport dead bodies and organs, would you do it? On second thought, that's the wrong question to ask. $1 billion is a lot, but I know you get the question I was trying to ask. Transporting dead bodies or body parts is one of those jobs that can get pretty eerie pretty quickly, and the woman on your screen right now knows all about it. In this clip, she was transporting a box with a body in it. It was supposed to be a quick, easy trip, but listen. There's whispering and scratching coming from within the box. She recorded it and shared it online, seeking the opinions of people. Not sure she needed them because she's an expert in all, but she shared anyway. As with all these things, the paranormal community picked up and argued that the spirit of whoever was in the box is agitated and causing the sound. While some agreed, others felt that perhaps the individual was not fully dead. Someone was quick to point out, however, that it was not a full body but a torso with no arms. There was no way anyone would be alive in that state. Given the puzzling nature of this case, I swallowed my pride and went to Julius, our in-house science genius, who doesn't hesitate to let me know he's smarter, and he helped out. According to him, a dead body can appear to move due to natural post-mortem processes like rigor mortis, where muscles stiffen and occasionally contract, causing slight shifts in limbs or fingers. As decomposition begins, gases build up inside the body, sometimes creating enough pressure to make it twitch, reposition, or even to sit up in rare cases. He also stated that nerve endings may also fire briefly after death, causing jerky movements that look disturbingly lifelike. So there you have it, Julius's take. Does that not explain the whispering, though, or does it? This woman shared a strange and unsettling encounter she had in her home. She was completely alone with her baby, who had been sound asleep for about 2 hours. Everything was calm, and she was just watching TV when she suddenly heard something unexpected. One of her baby's toys had turned on by itself. Confused and a bit alarmed, she walked into the room to check. The toy was upright and playing, positioned away from the baby's crib and facing the opposite direction. But the baby was still deeply asleep and facing away from the toy. There was no way the baby could have activated it. The woman was freaked out. She turned the toy off, placing it down, and left the room. But things didn't end there. As she sat back down in the living room, she began recording herself recounting what had just happened. And while she was speaking, something else occurred. A strange sound came through, first 2 faint beeps, then a pause, and then 2 more. It wasn't coming from her phone or the TV. It sounded like something electronic nearby. She stopped mid-sentence, realizing she had no explanation for the noise. At that point, she started yelling out loud, challenging whatever was messing with her, and then the video ends. She believes something in her house was there, but some viewers think it's all just a hoax or maybe a trick of the electronics. But what do you think?
Like, if I were to... What the f*** was that? Okay, my whole body. No. What is that? Nope. Nope. I told you to get out.
Someone was taking the elevator when they suddenly heard something unsettling. Cries echoing through the walls. Curious and a little unnerved, they pulled out their camera and started looking for the cracks in the elevator wall. And that's when they saw it. A hand reaching out of the darkness from within the wall, but there was no one there. No sign of a person, just that ghostly hand vanishing back into the shadows and the cries. So what exactly was that? A lost spirit trapped in the building's walls, or something far more unsettling? Speaking of ghosts, here's a story that will make you think twice about hiking alone. A couple had taken a trip to Colorado, spending their time exploring the wilderness, snapping photographs, and just enjoying nature. Everything seemed perfectly normal until they started to go through the pictures they'd taken. One photo in particular stood out. It was a simple shot of just the husband standing by a tree taken by his wife. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual, but when they zoomed in, they noticed something eerie. Behind him, partially obscured by the trees, was a faint, ghostly figure of a child. The figure appeared pale, almost transparent, with an unsettling stillness, just standing there staring directly at the man. According to the couple, they had been completely alone at the time. They hadn't noticed anyone nearby, and they definitely didn't recall seeing a child in the woods. Even stranger, they didn't feel anything unusual. No cold spots, no eerie sensations, nothing to hint that there was a ghost nearby. Perplexed and a bit shaken, they uploaded it online, specifically in paranormal groups hoping for answers. As with the previous capture, many who saw this believed it was a ghost. The big question now is, whose ghost, and why was it hanging around them? You'd think that when it comes to powerful organizations like the CIA and the Chinese government, which are two of the most intense and influential entities in the world, there would be at least some level of formality and diplomacy, but, well, apparently not anymore. What we're seeing now feels like a full-on digital war with propaganda battles and not just the usual statements and press releases, but straight-up AI-generated videos and cinematic attacks. The US recently put out propaganda videos featuring a Chinese man who agrees to work with the CIA to spy on China. It meant to paint the CIA as the good guys and provoke the Chinese, but of course, China did not take that lightly. In response, they created their AI-generated video targeting the US. It portrays greedy American officials who don't care about their people and even includes accusations about Israel pulling the strings in Washington. At the end of that video, they put a bold message: fight for freedom. It's wild and petty, but also intense, and honestly, when you look beyond the dramatics, there seems to be a bit of concerning messaging on both sides, and these are things that were considered conspiracies, which is probably why people are going crazy over the clips online. What do you think? Are these propaganda battles just theatrics, or is there a deeper message we should be paying attention to?
只是换了方法，无论我的未来将会是什么。
争取一个真正的未来，用我的方式改变这个国家。
Well, it looks like we might not need jazz musicians anymore, and yes, you should be concerned about that. Scientists have officially played God again, and this time with popcorn. That's right. They've created something called the Jazz Popcorn Robot, and as ridiculous as that sounds, it works. Here's how it goes. When popcorn is being made, it pops at random intervals with varying force. Well, someone decided to harness that. They developed a robotic system that listens to the popping rhythm, detects the timing and volume, and uses it to trigger jazz-like percussion sounds. You get what sounds like a spontaneous jazz performance made entirely from the rhythm of popcorn popping. Sure, it's clever and funny, but also a little unsettling. At first, AI is making music, now our snacks are doing it too. What's next? Your microwave dropping a lo-fi album? So, jazz musicians, be warned, your replacement might be in the bag of kernels. But is this innovation, or are we just getting way too bored? At some point, scientists and engineers in the tech field need to step back and ask themselves if they're taking robotics too far. Just look at this robot demonstration footage. It's both impressive and unsettling. A man places a large stone on the robot and smashes it with a massive hammer. The stone shatters into pieces, but the robot is unharmed, not even a scratch. Then, in another clip, he hits the robot with a stick, but instead of breaking the machine, the stick itself snaps apart. He even tries using a glass bottle on the robot's head, but it's as if nothing happened. And then the man kicks the robot to the ground, and in a chillingly smooth motion, it gets right back up like it was nothing. It's incredible, sure, but, well, how should we feel about this? We're building the indestructible machines, meanwhile we as humans remain fragile. At what point does innovation cross into something we should be concerned about? You know those clips where someone takes a picture and doesn't notice something scary until much later? Well, this is one of those circumstances. Before I tell you the story behind this one, take a good look at the capture. Do you notice anything, say, weird? On the right side of the capture, you'll see a shadowy figure or being. Personally, when I saw this, the first thing that came to mind was a ghostly nun, but not sure what you guys may be seeing on your end. According to the individual who took and uploaded the picture, he rented out a cabin and thought it would be cool to take a picture. So, he had his high beams on and then captured the moment. It wasn't until several days later that he went through the images and noticed this. He's not sure how to feel about it, and I guess it's a shock. If it were me, however, going back there is an option I'm never taking. We've come across a lot of crazy things on this channel. Some we try to explain, others just leave us with more questions than answers. And this one falls into the "what on earth is going on here" category. In this clip, a man is out in the cold, surrounded by heavy snowfall. He walks up to a mound of snow-covered rock with a small opening, and inside that tiny gap, you can actually see a flame burning. What's even stranger is that this flame sits right in the middle of a waterfall. You can see the water flowing, most of it frozen from the cold, but the flame just keeps going. Well, believe it or not, this isn't CGI. This phenomenon is very real. There are around 9 of these so-called eternal flames across the world, and this one is known as the Eternal Flame Falls, located in New York. These mysterious flames are lit by natural gas that seeps out through cracks in the Earth's crust. When the gas hits the air, it can be ignited, and if the flow is steady enough, the flame can burn indefinitely even under running water. But here's the thing that puzzles scientists. Some of these flames shouldn't even exist, based on what we know. The pressure and temperature underground shouldn't be enough to produce that much natural gas, so how are they burning so strongly? Could there be something deeper going on beneath the surface? Now, this is a clip we've shown before, but we got tagged on it again by someone who didn't like our previous analysis. In my previous analysis, I stated this was likely a big but normal-sized kangaroo, and I went on to state that the perspective of the capture could be responsible for him looking so ginormous. The one who tagged us in the clip did not agree. To him, this is the real deal. A real giant kangaroo hiding in Australia, and the government is trying to keep the word from getting out. This time, I won't share an opinion. I just want to hear what you guys think. Do you know anyone with teeth fillings? Do you know if they're using mercury for those fillings or not? If you are wondering why you should care, this man right here is saying that beyond the danger of mercury exposure, those fillings in your teeth could become receivers for radio waves, basically making you an antenna. Before you call him crazy, do some research. There are actually reports of people having strange sensations after the fillings were done. It's almost as though they become aware that things they weren't supposed to be aware of. The big question on the mind of most conspiracy theorists is, does the government know? Is the government secretly using this to enhance and weaponize its citizens? Is this the reason the government isn't serious about pulling bad dental products from the markets? Wild questions, I know, but just think about them. I checked in with Julius on this, and for the first time he couldn't call me crazy. He told me that some people had reported experiencing strange sensations such as hearing buzzing or voices, which they believed were caused by their fillings. He explained that this idea likely stemmed from the fact that metal dental fillings could, in rare cases, act as passive radio receivers under very specific conditions. According to him, if a filling had the right shape and was exposed to a strong radio signal, it could theoretically pick up the signal and vibrate in response, producing a faint sound inside the mouth. However, he emphasized that this phenomenon was extremely rare and not a common occurrence. Rare and not a common occurrence. Well, how would he know? A TikToker has been sharing a strange encounter she's been having with what she believes to be a mimic. She used to live on her family's farmhouse in the Appalachian Mountains. Though she no longer lives there, she recently returned to retrieve a few items she'd left behind. She went back with her husband, and as they were looking around the house and filming, something chilling happened. As the camera panned around, you see her husband, or at least someone who looked exactly like him, behind her. He was crouched on the ground with his head bent down. But here's the terrifying part. That was not her husband. At the time, her real husband was outside filming the front of the house, so if that wasn't him, then who or what was it? Many believe the Appalachian Mountains are home to strange and unexplainable entities, and mimics are said to be one of them. Creatures that imitate voices, faces, and even entire people to lure unsuspecting victims. Could this be one of them? Ghosts are described in so many different ways around the world. There doesn't seem to be just one form they take. Some people report seeing translucent human shapes, others talk about orbs of light, shadowy figures, or even strange mists. This particular sighting was shared by a construction worker doing a night shift at a work site. He'd been on high alert because some of his co-workers had already warned him about weird things happening there, so he was extra vigilant. That night, he saw this, a red, glowing round object floating in the sky. It wasn't moving like a drone or a plane, it just hovered, slowly drifting above the site. He was convinced it had to be a ghost or spirit. But people in the local community had different opinions. Some claimed it wasn't a ghost at all, but a UFO, which is mostly seen these days. So what do you think this red floating light was? There are some situations in life that, when you really break them down, don't seem to make much sense. Well, unless you consider that maybe, just maybe, something divine stepped in. Take this security footage for example. It shows a quiet street in what looks like a small neighborhood. A man is walking with a little girl, maybe his daughter, coming from the side and heading towards the roadside. As they approach, something unexpected happens. The man notices a coin lying on the ground. He gently stops the girl beside him and bends down to pick it up. And that's when it happens. Out of nowhere, a car completely out of control comes veering off the road, screeching across the pavement at high speed. It crashes just feet in front of where the man and the little girl were supposed to be standing. The car slams, flips, and skids across the street in a violent crash. Had the man and the girl taken even one more step without stopping, they would have been directly in the path of that car. Was that coin just a coincidence, or was it something more? Could it have been a guardian angel, fate, or something greater that placed it there just in time to save their lives? Because honestly, the timing is too perfect to ignore. This is Florida. Yeah, you heard right. Florida. For some weird reason, they're reportedly getting snowstorms near blizzard conditions. This is happening in locations where you wouldn't expect. In fact, the experts are calling it a once-in-a-generation event. The residents are stunned, as many of them don't even have the resources to deal with this because it's not something that you'd expect or have to deal with regularly. Why is this happening? Well, the answer is simple: global warming. At least that's the answer being sold to us. Members of the paranormal community believe this is geoengineered weather at its best, but, hey, what the hell do I know, huh? Does anyone live in Florida? Can you confirm this for us? Now, on this channel, we've experienced the paranormal and we've seen groundbreaking tech. But what happens when you marry the two? The result, ladies and gentlemen, is what you see on your screen. When I first saw this video, I had one question: how's this even possible? So this man's showcasing his autonomous robot spirit being. He showcases himself walking with it. During the first instance, you might think he's got some sophisticated tech in there, but he repeats the showcase again, this time showing the empty internals. Despite having no known tech in it, his creation still moves. This is God people saying he's found a way to merge technology and the supernatural. Not sure how that works, but someone mentioned that he brought his creation to life using a book. I guess there's no point asking about that book because there's no way he'll release any information on it, assuming it's all true. Reminds me of Geppetto and his creation Pinocchio, but what if it wasn't a fairy tale? They say curiosity kills the cat, and some people find that out the hard way. A man was casually peeking out of his window, spying on his neighbor in the building across from his, when he caught something strange. He saw a man sitting alone at his dining table, no plate of food in front of him, but beside him was a plate of what looked like noodles. Nothing too weird yet until you look closer. Hovering right above the plate was a fork, and not just floating there, but with a few noodles hanging from it like it was being lifted for a bite. Some people are saying this is a classic party trick. You stick the fork into the food and carefully balance it so it looks like it's floating and freeze it. But others aren't buying it. Some say what we are seeing here could be something more paranormal. Maybe the man wasn't alone at the table. Something unseen was joining him for dinner. Either way, next time, don't go spying on your neighbors through the windows. You might just see something you can't unsee. So someone sent us a link to this video claiming it was a real and living chupacabra. When I saw this message, I rushed so much to open it that I damn well fell over. The uploader spoke about how they had experienced strange and paranormal things before running into this creature. As I listened, my eyes widened. They were filled with excitement and glee. This was finally proof that they were out there. It was at this moment Julius, the know-it-all, walked into the room and smiled too. I asked him if he was finally becoming a believer, and he asked me to look up Xoliotsuintli. If I butchered the pronunciation, well, forgive me, I just discovered they exist. Anyway, after looking it up, I realized this was no chupacabra. It was a unique, ordinary dog. Looks like the search for the chups isn't ending anytime soon. And I won't be giving up either.
¡Ah! ¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
You have it around.
Sometimes people walk the fine line between luck and disaster, and this man had a terrifyingly close call. A group of friends had gone rock fishing, each casting their lines into the water. While most of them stayed up on the rocks, one guy decided to get closer to the shoreline for a better spot. At the same time, a shark had been spotted in the area. As the man glanced out of the water, he suddenly slipped and fell right in, directly where the shark was lurking. Panic set in immediately. In a desperate scramble, he launched his Croc sandal into the air and climbed out of the water as fast as possible. A close call? More like a miracle escape. This could have gone bad very fast.
¿Are you gonna cut it tonight? ¡Ah! ¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
You have it around.
When your kids talk about having imaginary friends, I know it sounds cute, but it's not always cute. Confused? Well, look at this clip. The child was doing what kids do, walking around with her toys. She then starts confronting something or someone, but there's no one there. You might even be tempted to think she's interacting with something out of frame, but no, that's not what's happening. Only a few seconds into the interaction, something starts pulling the items in her hands from her. The problem? There's no one there besides her. But somehow whatever is pulling has a firm grip. She stands her ground, takes her items, and goes in the opposite direction. Her mom just happened to stumble upon this footage one day, and it shook her. She kept wondering what her daughter was actually interacting with and didn't want to believe it was really something from the dark side. Members of the paranormal community were sure it had to be a demonic entity. Some also stated it might be the spirit of a child playing with a daughter. Whatever the case, the mom didn't like it and wanted it gone. Do any of you know how to get rid of something like this? Because I really don't. A man had recently rented an apartment on the top floor of a building, and one evening he was just outside his room when he noticed something strange on the floor at the end of the hallway. It was a small hatch built into the ground. Curious, he walked over and opened it, assuming it might be for maintenance or possibly a hidden staircase, but what he found was far more unsettling. There was no staircase, no ladder, no railing, nothing. Just a square-shaped opening that dropped straight down, and he could see all the way to the street far below. No barriers, no signs, no warning, just a vertical pit that cut through the entire building like a forgotten elevator shaft, left completely exposed except for the metal hatch covering it. What kind of building design is this? Was it an old utility shaft, a dumbwaiter system that was never sealed up, or something far more dangerous that was simply neglected over time? Who knows? But that looks very dangerous. Someone shared this security footage that's been making the rounds online, and it's seriously unsettling. The camera, pointed at a quiet street late at night, captures something strange. A ghostly figure walks down the road. At first glance, it looks like a woman with her back hunched. It looks like she's carrying something bulky. She doesn't look up and doesn't acknowledge her surroundings. She just keeps walking slowly. Some viewers believe it's the spirit of a woman who may have once lived in the area and died under tragic circumstances and now wanders the streets replaying her last moments. Others are convinced it's just a person in a camera glitch, but the way she seems to fade slightly, well, it's hard to shake off the feeling that what you're seeing isn't just a person. And as always with footage like this, no one knows where she went. The cameras never picked her up again.
I think it's time to go.
Next, we got another clip of someone exploring the woods. It's a trail he's used too, but states that he felt an ominous presence when he passed by the particular spot he filmed at. He couldn't explain it, but there was something that felt just off. Surely enough, when he got there in this particular video, he heard a howl. Now he's convinced it's demonic, but some who saw the clip have stated that it's nothing more than a cougar, especially since they're found in the woods he's exploring. This one's a tad interesting, but what do you also think?
it's time to go.
Guys, I'm home alone right now. Guys, just watch. Something's gonna get thrown in my room. If it does, that means that there's a skinwalker in my house. What in the heck was that? Was that an arm?
A little boy was home doing what little boys do, play games, when stuff started flying around the room. He was startled and did what any Gen Z or Alpha person would do, record the encounter instead of getting the hell out of there. Thanks to his act of bravery, if you can call it that, we got this footage as evidence of his encounter. In the clip, we see something fall and a door moving without someone behind it. The boy filming thinks there's a skinwalker out to get him. Not sure why he would think that, because these are usually the signs of a poltergeist, unless of course his friends are messing with him. Forgive me if I sound skeptical because he's young, but well, you wouldn't believe the things we did to my cousin Jeremy because he was afraid of the Grinch. Oh, good times. Maybe I should call Jeremy.
Guys, I'm home alone right now. Guys, just watch. Something's gonna get thrown in my room. If it does, that means that there's a skinwalker in my house. What in the heck was that? Was that an arm?
Some office workers have been experiencing strange things in their building. The lights flickering, random noises, and eerie feelings of not being alone. So one night, after everyone had gone home, they decided to set up a camera and monitor the office to see what was really going on. As they watched the footage later, something bizarre happened. Look closely at the window on the left-hand side of the room, and you can see the faint outline of a figure. It shows up for just a moment, then vanishes. And just as they were trying to process that, an orb-like object floated across the room and disappeared just as quickly. It all happened in a matter of seconds, but it was enough to leave them stunned. What do you think they captured? All over the world, we've come across these strange mountains that look suspiciously like tree stumps. They're massive, flat-topped, and oddly shaped. Many believe these aren't just rocks, but the petrified remains of ancient trees, possibly from a time long forgotten or erased from history. What makes this theory even more fascinating is that many of these tree-like formations seem to be gushing water like springs, waterfalls, or even entire fountains flowing right out of the sides. Recently, a bizarre phenomenon has been gaining attention. Some trees have been found gushing out fresh water. Yeah, full-size living trees, some of which have reportedly been pouring out clean water since the 1990s. This has led some to theorize that trees may be natural water reservoirs or conduits, pulling water from deep within the earth and channeling it to the surface. But if that's the case, well, where is all this water really coming from? Is it the earth pushing it through, or is there something hidden within the biology of trees that we don't fully understand? Could we be missing a major part of our planet's history, or even our understanding of life itself? Sure, we've seen lots of weird stuff on this channel, but we always find an answer to even the most puzzling of captures. Be it from the Encyclopedia of Paranormal Things or from Julius, well, the encyclopedic mind. This clip, however, has got us scratching our heads. It's one of those rare situations where Julius refused to comment, yet after combing the internet for hours, I found nothing on it. Someone was allegedly out in the woods by a water body when he captured this. He'd never seen it before and wanted answers. All my possible answers turned out to be a dead end. Some in the paranormal community stated it is a mini Nessie. This is the second time we're describing something as one, but look at it. How else would you describe it? If there's an actual creature that looks like this, well, don't roast me, just help me understand this mystery. Next, let's dive into the deep and eerie conspiracy theory, the Black-Eyed Club. For years, people have noticed that celebrities, politicians, and some of the world's wealthiest individuals have been seen with a mysterious black eye, as if someone had punched them in one eye. But here's where it gets strange. It's not just a few people, it's a pattern. Some of the most powerful figures, including presidents, popes, and billionaires, have been photographed with this same injury at the peak of their careers. Because of this, they've been linked to what many call the Black-Eyed Club. Now, theories about this go deep. Some believe it's tied to secret societies like the Illuminati or Freemasons and is a ritualistic initiation that symbolizes their entry into the highest levels of power. Of course, no one has officially explained their black eye or admitted the ritual, but the fact that so many influential figures share this strange, unexplained phenomenon has left conspiracy theories convinced that this is no coincidence. The fact that the media hasn't said anything concerning this has many conspiracies' senses tingling. So what do you think? A bizarre coincidence or something much darker? Some men were digging when they stumbled upon something massive buried in the ground. It was a giant tusk. This thing was so huge that they had to use an excavator just to lift it out of the earth. Next to the tusks, they also uncovered a large bone. It was thick and long, almost shaped like a human femur, only way bigger than any adult man's. That's when people realized that this wasn't from a regular elephant. Most people believed they'd uncovered what could be the remains of a woolly mammoth. Woolly mammoths roamed the earth during the Ice Age and are known to have vanished thousands of years ago, but finds like this remind us just how massive and powerful these ancient creatures were, and that they might still be waiting, hidden beneath our feet, for someone to dig them back into history. Apart from the usual cryptids we've all heard of like Bigfoot, Dogman, and a handful of other humanoid creatures, there may be even more strange beings roaming the wilderness, some that don't fit neatly into any known category. A woman recently captured something bizarre while out on a hike. She was just about to enter a thick wooded area when she noticed a massive, hairy figure moving between the trees. This thing was big, easily 8 to 9 feet tall with bulging muscles and a hunched, powerful frame. At first, she assumed it was Bigfoot, but as the camera zoomed in, something didn't look quite right. Its posture was different. It was more beast-like than human, and what stood out was its face. If you look closely through the shaky footage, likely due to the woman's fear at the time, you'll notice something unusual. Some viewers claim it looked like a giant rodent or even a mouse-like face. It's difficult to tell exactly what this creature is, but it doesn't match the standard Bigfoot description. So what did she see? Was it a variation of Sasquatch, a misidentified animal, or are there still other humanoid creatures in our forests that we haven't even begun to understand? Next, we got a clip from someone who believes they captured a fairy on camera. Take a look. They claim to have seen the creature at the window, and as they got closer, this is what they found. A tiny, naked, humanoid figure with wings, and just as they approached, it immediately flew off. At first glance, it looks like a fairy, but something about it feels off. I don't know, I just can't place my finger on it. Could this be genuine proof of these mystical beings, or does it seem a little bit too perfect, almost edited? Now, I've mentioned the Men in Black several times in today's episode, and we finally have a clip of them. Yeah, watch. See the two men in the security footage? They went to a hotel looking for an employee who didn't show up at work that day. They asked his colleagues about him, and his colleagues in turn called him after they left to let him know. According to them, the men came in asking for him. Once they told the men they were not around, the men didn't believe them. They went around the facility engaging others. Once they were sure he was not around, they came back to his colleagues to ask further questions. Now, it's not very visible from the footage, but his colleagues described these men as being the same height, with the same kind of build, and wearing the same clothes. They'd unusually blue eyes that seemed to scan the thoughts of his colleagues anytime they asked questions. Bizarre, I know, but it's like whenever they asked the questions, instead of listening to what his colleagues were saying, they could read their thoughts. Eventually, they started asking them about conspiracies around the globe and what have you. This naturally confused and scared his colleagues. He claims one even broke down into tears narrating the whole experience to him. If they were truly the men in black, well, why didn't they wipe their memories? Or am I watching too many fan fiction movies? Anyway, with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. Oh, we can't wait to receive what you have.